The Norwegian Crusade, 1107 to 1101, Sigurd the Crusader. In the far north, where mountains fall into black water and the wind scours a man down to bone, strength was learned early. Life was hard, honor mattered. A king was judged not by speeches, but by whether he stood where danger was thickest. That was the world that shaped Sigurd I of Norway. When news reached Norway that Jerusalem stood under constant threat, Sigurd did not treat it as distant politics. He took it as a summons. He chose not to send others in his name, but to go himself. Longships were hauled down to the fjords, 60 of them, lean, sea-scarred vessels built for storms and war. The men who boarded them were not pampered knights. They were sailors and fighters, men hardened by cold decks and long watches. Their food reflected that life. Barrels of dried fish and smoked meat were stacked beneath the benches. Hard bread, tough enough to break teeth, was soaked in water or beer to make it chewable. Butter and cheese were wrapped in cloth. When seas allowed, stews were boiled in iron pots. Salted meat thickened with peas or grain, eaten straight from the cauldron. It was fuel, not comfort. They sailed south into rough seas, living by rhythm and discipline. Oars bit the water. Sails snapped in the wind. When storms came, men clung to ropes and trusted ships they had grown up with. On calmer nights they ate, sharpened blades, repaired mail, and listened as Sigurd spoke plainly among them, not above them. The voyage was not peaceful. Along the Atlantic coast and down past Iberia, the Norwegians struck enemy-held ports. These were swift, decisive actions. Shields locked. Axes fell. Resistance was broken quickly and the fleet moved on. Sigurd was seen at the front, visible and unflinching. A king who shared danger earned loyalty that could not be bought. As the fleet entered the Mediterranean, the sea changed color and temperament. Fresh food became scarce. When they could, the Norse traded for bread, fruit, and wine. When they could not, it was back to dried fish, hard bread, and thin stew, eaten on deck beneath a punishing sun. By 1110, the longships reached the Holy Land. The Crusader states were strained and exposed, defended by walls battered too many times. Into this tension arrived a northern king who asked for no ceremony. Sigurd joined forces with Baldwin I of Jerusalem, and together they chose a vital target, Sidon, a fortified port threatening the entire Crusader coastline. The siege of Sidon was fought with patience and pressure. Crusader forces attacked from the land while Sigurd's fleet sealed the harbour. The Norwegians held positions under fire, hauled equipment, scaled defences, and fought at blade range when the walls were breached. They ate when they could. Cold bread, meat stripped from the bone, whatever could be swallowed quickly before returning to the line. Sigurd was seen again and again where the fighting thickened. Calm, focused, unmoving when others wavered. His presence steadied men who had crossed half the world to stand there. Sidon fell. Its capture tightened Crusader control of the coast and relieved pressure on nearby cities. The victory mattered not for glory, but for survival. In Jerusalem, Sigurd was honored as a brother in arms. Relics were given. His name was spoken with respect. Yet he did not linger. He left ships behind to strengthen the defense of the Holy Land, then turned north. He sought no land, no crown beyond his own. The journey home was long and quiet. The men ate the same hard food they had carried south, but now they bore something heavier, experience earned in heat, blood, and distance. When Sigurd returned to Norway in 1111, he was changed, not softened, sharpened. The Norwegian Crusade was not vast, it was not prolonged, but it proved that heroism could cross oceans, that a king could lead from the front, and that the men of the north could fight not as raiders, but as steadfast warriors who kept faith with each other to the end.